What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. We got the Chevy Colorado back there. If you didn't notice, it's a little bit bare bones. We removed the vinyl, we removed the camper shell back there. Truck looks really great either way, with the camper, without it. Just looks awesome, and it's an awesome rig. Long story short, we took this shell off. I did love it from Nogi Off-Road. I did love it. I enjoyed it while I had it. It's sitting right in front of me. It should be selling on Sunday. But we got our newest mod delivered a couple days ago. Semi truck pulled up. Guy with a lift gate and a pallet jack went to work, brought it in my garage for me up this steep little hill. Kind of sucks, but felt kind of bad, but it's not too heavy. We do have another camper shell we're going to be working on and installing today. It's going to be from OpenRoad 4-wheel drive. Shout out to them for making this video possible and kind of working with your boy on this one. So it's going to be a good time. Install shouldn't be too bad. We just did this Nogi one not too long ago, and we're kind of familiar with it. So this one is lighter weight. Fitment looks better. We're going to find out and test that ourselves, and it's going to be watertight. So should be a good time. Should be an easy install after doing just the other one about a month or two ago. So let's go get into the video. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Let's make this Colorado come back to life. All right, guys, so this is the packaging that it does come in. We have the old camper shell right there, and then we have the one that just got delivered from Open 4-wheel drive right here. This is the packaging it comes in. It comes on a pallet. Yeah, it comes on a pallet. If you got a good driver, a cool dude, he will bring it in for you, take it to your garage, whatever you need. But I popped all these straps. Let's just open it up, see what's inside, and kind of get the ball rolling. So you can see it comes packaged really well, very protected. My brother used to work for an automotive shop, and they used to do like body work on vehicles. So this kind of reminds me of some of the stuff that would come from Lexus, where it's packaged really nice. You know, you want to take care of your product. So I don't blame them for having all this padding, all this stuff in here. So I'm going to just go ahead and start ripping stuff up, and then we'll get back to it. Well, here's one of the panels. You do have mounting points. It does feel a little bit lighter weight already. And something that I'm noticing right off the back is this, right off the bat, is this OpenRoad logo. Real high quality machining, and everything looks good. I love these covers. I didn't have these on the Nogi, but yeah, these are pretty sick. Nice crisp latches. So I have a lot of the panels and things. They're over here on this side of the screen. You can't really see them. But this, I got to the back window right now, and this harness, it was plugged in. Everything is good. I just took it out because it's something I don't want hanging around or swinging around as I'm trying to install it. So just got it out of the way. I'm going to throw it to the side for now, and we'll keep at it. We're getting everything out of the box, and then we'll start the install process. All right, so we got everything taken out of the box. We don't have all the hardware separated. The instructions recommend that you do that. I'm not gonna do it for the sake of the video and saving some time, just getting to the bread of the butter and the harder stuff of the video. So first things first, once you have everything all unpackaged, you are going to grab your two top rail mounts, which are basically for you to run some crossbars and things like that, and attach a rooftop tent if that's what you're going for. All right, so this is obviously the top, this is the outside, and you need to flip this onto those, and they have like bolts that are sticking out. So we'll go ahead and do that. We're going to flip that on there, try to line everything up best as we can, and they should line up just perfect. And then we'll tighten them down with some nuts, I'm assuming, and we'll see what else we need. So first things first, get this on there. And that was pretty dang close. Look at that. First try. I'm impressed. Yeah, fitment's great. So here's kind of what all your accessories come in, all your parts, all your hardware. We got a lot of stuff. You got your weather stripping, right? Weather stripping, some sealant. I'm not sure if it's like a silicone style, but it is for certain corners on this if you want it to be extremely waterproof. For me, I will show that in the video because I definitely need that. You have this little tool to make your seams of that silicone or whatever it is to make it nice and smooth. So that's great. all your M8 bolts, all your keys, some more washers, and these are the M6 nuts and gaskets. It says for rooftop slide, so I'm going to assume that it's for this right here, the step we're on. We'll take these out, and then you have your clamps and everything that mount to your actual bed. So let's get into it. Got a fuse tap as well. That is for your third brake light. That's really cool that they included it. I like it. So good stuff. Good stuff, OpenRoad. All right, so I got ahead of myself. Thought I knew what I was doing, but don't put your hardware on there. Don't use anything just yet. So before you put your hardware on the rails and tighten it all down, you're actually using those same mounting points for attaching your wings or your side panels to the truck caps. All right, guys, so it helps so much more if you have a second set of hands with you. It is definitely possible to do by yourself, but basically I had my wife come out. She held right here. Everything is lining up very easily. So where your rails on the roof go, they're on that backside, right? And you have those bolts that come through right here. So you line that up with your first side panel, then you tighten them down. I did tighten all these down, made a mistake, so I'm gonna take these off and we're gonna hit this side and then we'll continue. So it's very, very simple. Like I said, you just use all the little spots where the bolts are already welded into the top panel. And that's where everything comes together, all right? All right, so both sides of it are put on. All you gotta do is use your hardware kit that says M6 nut and gasket. You're using that to attach this to your rails that are on top. Now we're probably just gonna go do the glass on both sides, and then you're almost done. So this is like the whole building process of it. If you can't tell, it's easy. I've been out here stopping and going for like an hour, maybe a little bit longer. We had some rain that was about to come, and it's monsoon season out here in Arizona, so we're just trying to deal with it. Super excited for it. But just make sure your sides are matching. You have arrows in the front here that says what's the front. So when this flips over, passenger side will be here and driver side there. So if you look at that, you can see the OpenRoad logo. It'll make more sense when it's in front of you. So your M8 bolt and nuts for the main body mounting, I'll go in here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't know. There's probably like 20, maybe more. But you won't miss them. There's going to be holes right here, and it just runs all through this seam. We just put a couple in there. I had my wife help me with it just to get it started so it'll stay put while we finish it off. So overall thoughts, compared to the Nogi, everything is lining up beautifully, which makes it that much more reason to buy one, right? Or more reason to pick this one over other ones. All right, so it's hot, it's humid out here. My shirt's over here, I'm getting all sweaty, it's kind of pulling down. But overall, like install wise and building the actual camper shell, from 1 to 10, 10 being the easiest, 1 being like extremely hard, I would say it's probably like an 8.5 or a 9. It's a lot easier than the previous shell that I had. Everything wants to line up, but I did learn some things along the way from both. I would say don't tighten everything down. You know, like just get it all kind of set up, get it hand tight, and then it gives you a little bit of flex, a little bit of play, just in case down the road you have any fitment issue, you can kind of wiggle it around and get it taken care of. So this isn't the case on this one. I haven't had any issues at all, but I do have it a little bit looser. It's just hand tight. We're going to go ahead and throw on the back part with the tempered tinted glass. So I'm excited to see how that glass looks. I haven't fully taken it out of the package. So I did see a smoked third brake light, which is sick because we have these Anzo tail lights right here. We have these, and they look awesome. So, hand tighten everything, and we're gonna button up the back, and then we'll get into the weather stripping and all that good stuff. So far so good. 1 to 10, 10 being easy, 8.5, 9. It's great. I'm actually excited. And so we had to come inside. If you can't tell, this is what I'm talking about. It does this every single day. It's been doing it for like a week and a half. Monsoon season in Arizona. We buttoned down all the M8s, all the M6s. So I did miss a step in this, and I want to show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. So coming right over here. So I did get ahead of myself, as you can see right over here, right along this edge with those M6s that mount your rooftop rails. There's a gasket, right? That gasket is not supposed to be on the roof. It is supposed to be inside on the roof, if that makes sense. So basically there's a gasket missing here. Directions are very clear on it, and your boy just really messed up on that one. So for me, I'm not going to go back and take it apart, but just keep that in mind. So the gaskets come on the rails that are on the back side of this. I'll show you right here. So these rails, you install them and the gasket goes on the inside of the truck, not in here. Okay, so keep that in mind when you are installing it. Obviously don't get ahead of yourself, read the instructions. Overall, really simple. Hardest part was getting all of these in. It's like a 5 Allen key, and then you have a 13 mil nut that goes on there. You can kind of see them. You can kind of see them right there. So that 13 mil nut, if you have like really slim ones and they're ratcheting, it makes a world of a difference, and it'll help you get it done way faster. But as you can see, there is a lot of bolts and nuts that go in here. So last night I did tighten everything down. I didn't want to really record that and take up too much time, but she's coming together. Here's your install instructions. They're pretty clear on what needs to be done, and right there, once I seen that, I said, uh-oh, I missed a step. So what you do with the sealant is you go ahead and after you get your base plate on there, which should be right here, you go through each screw and you just kind of put some of that sealant on there, so that way you're not having any leaks. I'm not too worried about it, but I'm going to go ahead and seal them up anyway, and just for precaution. So let's do that. So I'm not sure what kind of sealant this actually is or anything, but I'm going to go ahead and just kind of seal up these bolts, everything around it. There's a couple spots where I can see gaps, so I'm going to just go ahead and fill that in. And what's really cool about this sealant is you can see, because it's black, you can really see like when it's coming out, which is pretty cool, if you ask me. So tip of the day, don't squeeze it too hard, otherwise it will bust open. Mine busted open. And now we have a blob of a mess. So I just kind of blobbed it on there with my fingers and went around everything. Doesn't look great, but luckily it's black, so it's not too bad. All right, so I just went ahead, went through, hit all those bolts and nuts, and we should be good to go. I mean, we'll find out once we do some waterproof testing. So instructions do say on the next step, after sealing up those bolts, you are supposed to put the front and the rear on. Like I said, I worked on it just a tad last night. Did that, tightened everything down. Doesn't get much easier. We're gonna go into installing the rubber stripping, which is basically like your rubber weather stripping that goes on here. So I'm gonna follow the directions from here on out. And let's go ahead. I'll show you guys how this is done. All right, so here is your weather stripping that it comes with. It is 3M, so that's always good to see. Basically, you're gonna run it along this edge. Probably wanna wipe it clean. And a good tip that I do have is to get some isopropyl alcohol and just kind of rub it on there. Don't drench the thing, but get it on a rag, just wipe it down. It's gonna help everything stick that much better. This strip basically it's double. Don't mind my scissors. My wife's gonna be mad when she watches this video if she sees that. So you're gonna run this just straight along and cut it to size. One very important part of this all is when you install this and you get it on your truck is not to slide it. You don't want to slide it because you want everything, you don't want to rip the weather stripping, because then you're going to run into issues down the road. Now onto the side right here. So this is the front. This is the side that goes by your truck bed or by your rear window. So you don't have to worry about this. You just want to get this sealed up, right? So I'm not going to go too crazy right here. I'll probably just run it straight along here and then straight back. All right, y'all. So we are basically on the third day. So first day we kind of built it. It started raining. We kind of got held up, and then we tightened everything down. Second day we kind of got through the weather stripping and getting everything kind of sealed up. So I'm going to seal up a little bit more, show you guys what that looks like. My tube of sealant did pop open, so I'm going to kind of get dirty with it. It's not a hard job at all. You could realistically get it done in 2 hours, probably get it on your truck if you just lock in and you have the time where you can just take care of it. So I'm always on a time crunch myself, so that's kind of why this is getting spread out, but I actually want to make sure I'm trying to get most of it documented and show you guys what it's like. So let's go ahead. I sold the Nogi one yesterday, but the guy who bought it was actually really cool. We had a good conversation. We talked about camping, talked about family and all that good stuff. So that's what we're all about. And then we got in a little bit to mods and things like that. So we're gonna go ahead, finish buttoning this up. My last shell was very similar and I didn't have any issues with it, so I'm not super worried about it, but we just want to make sure everything is good. And you can kind of see where I sealed it up the day before yesterday. And you just kind of run this along there to smooth it out, just so everything is nice and pretty. And make sure you guys get up here in the corners. There's like usually a little gap. It seems like on every corner there's a little gap up top. All right, and just like that, we are weather stripped. Got our weather stripping on right here. You guys can kind of see nice and clean cuts. I kind of did something funky here. So right here, you don't actually need to cut it. Just run it and honestly curve it right here. Maybe throw an extra piece just right here, so that way it kind of overlaps with that. So when it closes, everything is watertight. But just like that, we're all done. So we have all the sides weather stripped. We have everything sealed off. Obviously, your sealing is going to look a lot better than mine. And don't forget, that gasket is supposed to sit on top right here, and then you seal up the screws and stuff. Now, the real only hard part is getting this on the actual truck. And getting this on the truck with 2 people is hard. I'd recommend like 3 people at least, maybe even 4 if you want it to be a little bit easier on you. We'll get it all buttoned up and put on the truck right over there on the weekend when I got some extra help, some extra hands. We'll get it done. Yeah, I'm super excited about this, guys. It is a very easy install. And I'll show you guys something real quick. Since I've already had one, I'm not sure, but let me know if you think I should pull this off. So you can see I kind of have like this foam weather stripping pad right here. All right, guys, so we're getting closer to done. We got the topper on, as you can tell. Basically, we get these little clamps right here. So these little clamps, they have like this skinnier side. That skinnier side goes right here under your bed. Goes like that. You get your bolt through and it clamps on, okay? So this is not the case, unfortunately. We're having some issues with the fitment. So you see this gap. You can tell you want this to almost be flush. So this should sit more so like that, right? Where it's nice and flush. So it should look something like that, but that is not the case. We have this gap here and we cannot get it to work like that, unfortunately. Okay, so if I do it like this and I get the bolts in, there's this gap down here at the bottom, and what it's going to do is going to allow that much movement forward, backwards, up, down, and it's just not going to work. Okay, so long story short, my neighbor came over, hung out with me, we kind of looked at it, and what I did just for a fix, because I need this done, is I went ahead and drilled holes. So there's 8 holes right now that went into the bed, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to bolt them down. I'll show you right over here. So now this is not exactly how it's supposed to work. I'll hit up OpenRoad, see if they have like a revision, or if they can get rid of these brackets right here and just use the old clamp style like I had previously. But for now, I'm going to use this way. I drilled all 8 holes, as you can tell, and we just set this clamp on there. And what we did is we drove the bolt and the nut through, boom, tightened it down, and then that gives us the proper tightening and fitment that we're looking for. Everything is nice and tight. You can kind of see right in here. My weather stripping is being crushed. That's what you want. You want a nice tight seal. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead, do that, I'll show you guys a little bit of that along the way. It's unfortunate that this happened. This video would have been out to you guys sooner, and you know, we would have been talking about this stuff sooner and having everything dialed in. But like I said, I think this is the first Chevy Colorado with the open road camper, at least for a 3rd gen. And some of this stuff is expected, just a little bit more R&D, a little bit more of real world testing. I don't know of any company that has every single vehicle or has everything where they can test it on every single vehicle. So we're doing that for you. I'll let you guys know what happens. And yeah, let's get to tightening everything down. Like I said, we just drilled some holes through there and we're gonna make it work. All right, so we got it on the truck. We're almost all buttoned up. I did show you how I modified it to make it work, but after sleeping on it and kind of messing with it this morning, we did figure it out the way it's properly supposed to be done. So that part's on me. If you experience it and you struggle with it at the same points that I did, we're gonna show you how to make it work. So the instructions on those weren't very clear on how you're supposed to handle the clamps, but everything's sitting really good. The weather strip's kind of tucked away. It's not sticking out like it was on my last one, except for right here, which kind of sucks. I guess I should have curved it or something, but it should be fine. I mean, if water a little tiny bit gets in there, that's on me. Notice I did it a little bit different than some other people. I sealed the inside instead of this outside point, which I like this to look like this. I don't want to have caulking running through here. So let's go ahead and dive into this part and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. That's my modified way of doing it, which probably isn't the best to secure it. I do have 2 extra clamps in there just in case, because of these ones not being held up properly. But we got that one in properly, and then we're gonna go get this one in next. Okay, as you can see, so that's how it's supposed to be, where it's nice and lined up. It's right here, it's going up to the top of this. Now I'm just gonna gently tap it over. I wanna make sure it stays on that lip, right? Side softer than that. It's wanting to pop out, which is good because it's gonna be snug, right? But still kind of a pain in the butt. There you go. And now it's nice and flush. It goes over this lip right here. That's where you want. So now when I tighten it down, this is going to bend down slightly and this is going to come up a little bit and it's going to be all good. All right. All right, y'all, so we got the OpenRoad 4-wheel drive cap on. The install was pretty good. Did have some little hiccups that you guys seen in the video previously, but overall the thing looks great, man. Check it out. So there it is, OpenRoad. My truck's a little bit on a hill right now. It's actually like kind of like halfway into a ditch. But yeah, you could see they have that nice little curve up there, so it kind of gives you a little bit more extra clearance for your brake light. If it was about 1/4 inch lower, it would be absolutely perfect, right? So with my roof rack, it lines up with the rack that they have up there for your crossbars. You get these little things that close up, right? So pop that one, go over to this one, pop this one, boom. And look at that, she opens up nice and smooth, very quiet, looks awesome. Yeah, I'm really digging the look on this one. So obviously my tailgate's down. But yeah, this is how she's looking. This thing is sweet. It is a little bit heavy to get up there, but if you got 3-4 people, you're solid. You could probably do it with 2 really strong people. Thing I like about this is the mounting points right here. And then you also have mounting points in there as well. You can do as you please. They do provide a nice LED strip. I'll show you guys that real quick. So this thing's probably about 20 to 24 inches. It's this LED strip. I'm not gonna wire it up today. I wanna get this done. You have all your sets of keys. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sets of keys, which is awesome. Wifey will need a set. I'll need a set. We'll maybe keep some with our other keys and stuff like that. But yeah, she's all buttoned up. I did throw 2 extra clamps in there. Looks really good. I threw those extra clamps just for some more tightening up front because I left my old weather stripping on there, and it's just slightly raised back there. And have this nice little step right here, so when you get a rooftop tent or whatever you're gonna do, you can literally stand on this, which is pretty sweet. And it just tucks away like that. This thing looks amazing. And the fitment, you can see that it has a slight, not even a poke, but at least it's lined up with this right here. So it doesn't poke out, it just lines up perfectly with that. And we're pretty dialed in. Open road, baby. Not sure if that is supposed to be there, but we'll be okay. How else are they supposed to put weather stripping all around it, right? Let's close her up. It's a little bit tight on the tight side when you're closing it, but you kind of want that, right? We're gonna have that airtight seal. Once one side's latched though, you're good. Did recently see one of a Trail Boss with, or not a Trail Boss, a ZR2 install. Watching his video, luckily it helped me with these. Helped out a lot, so I banged them up a little bit, but we got it done. And we're running short on time. So it does come with a 3rd brake light as well. Your harness is somewhere up there. I don't see it on the inside. You have to go all the way in and do it. I'm tired of jumping in and out of the truck, so let's close her up. Check this out. There's no light coming through, which is awesome. We'll see how it goes. So you just kind of close her up like this. Boom. All right, your weather seal. I kind of like this style a little bit better because I feel like it's going to be a little bit more waterproof. Okay, so I don't know if the ZR2s have it, but the Trail Boss does, where it has like this little lip right here. Not a big deal, but it should be fine. So we'll come over to this one, lock her up, boom, and there you go. She's looking good. That window is dark too. That window, you want to talk about privacy glass or you want to talk about tint, this is it. Sick. She's looking good. Open road 4-wheel drive. I appreciate you guys so much. I'm happy with it. So if you guys don't know already, I do live out in Arizona. It's about 100 degrees out here. Super hot day. We got it done. Looks great on the truck. Open road 4-wheel drive. I appreciate you guys. This thing is sick. It's everything that I need for my rig. And we'll probably be mounting something up back over here. Maybe some gas or stuff like that whenever we do hit a trip. It's always good to be safe. But yeah, this thing is solid, great. Let's do some waterproof testing, see how it turns out. Hopefully we don't got no leaks. Let's go check it out. All right, guys, we were gonna get some real world testing, but I don't want to get hard water stains all over the truck. It is raining outside, but it's very light. So we're just over here at the car wash. We're gonna drop some low pressure, spot-free rinse. Right? Shouldn't be hard water, but we'll find out. And we're just gonna kind of soak the thing and see how it turns out. Let's go check it out. Man, I just wasted that whole time. I didn't record that, but you could see we soaked her up. See what's going on. We just opened it up. I do have 2 drips. This was when I opened it. And also it looks like a spot inside right up here. So this is where you gotta make sure you're sealed up, all right? So we have that spot right here. Not too big of a deal. And then we're right over there in that corner, which is probably my fault. But yeah, I soaked the whole truck. Not the whole truck, but I soaked the whole bedside. The roof, I really focused on the roof to see what the roof would do. And yeah, I mean, it came out pretty dang good. Can't complain with that. 2 little spots. And like I said, I'm gonna check them out and work on them. I tried to get like a real world scenario for you guys. You guys can see the rain's all back there, but it's not quite to us. So figured we'd stop by real quick, give it a wash and see if it would work. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. We'll go back to the other part. Yeah, we're digging it. Open road 4-wheel drive. We appreciate you guys as always. All you guys that tune in, all you guys that subscribe, follow, like. Yeah, I appreciate it. If you're new here, my name is Jordan. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe, throw a comment in there. Let me know what you think about the Open Road 4-wheel drive cap. If you liked my Nogi off-road one better, or if you like this one, I'm kind of leaning towards this one. As terms of ease of install, this one was a little bit more complicated, but I want to say it's just because they're trying to make sure that we're watertight, we're airtight, and we're not having any issues down the road. So Open Road 4-wheel drive. I appreciate you guys. Hopefully this video gets out there to the right people. Make sure to share it with your friends and everyone around. So appreciate you guys as always. If there's a hype button down at the bottom of the screen next to the comment and like and all that stuff, if you guys can do that for your boy, I'd really appreciate it. It helps smaller channels like us grow, helps us get our content out there, and help you guys in the long run. So gonna have some headlights coming soon. I got tons of parts in the garage for the truck, so stay tuned for all that stuff. I appreciate you guys as always for tuning into another video. We'll see you in the next one. Check out the links in the description. We got discounts. Peace.